Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Abnormal Voyages. My name is David, and today we find ourselves in Safety Harbor, Florida. We're always big fans of art installations and creative endeavors. Today, we have found a really cool one. So tag along with us as we explore Whimzeyland.
We're going to a place that you've never heard of before. It's Abnormal Voyages. You're gonna learn something new. We're gonna open new doors. It's Abnormal Voyages.
Nestled in this quiet, unassuming suburb of a small Florida town is where you'll find this art explosion that is Whimzeyland. Our story begins in 1985. Up until that point, the house here was just a plain, ordinary house. But it was purchased by artists Todd Ramquist and Linda. And once that happened, this neighborhood was never quite the same again. Todd and Linda are both full-time artists, and as soon as they moved to this house, Whimzeyland became kind of a passion project of theirs. The transformation actually began with bowling balls. The artists were visiting a local flea market when they saw a sign that said 10 free bowling balls per person. Well, they couldn't pass up an offer like that, so they each grabbed 10 and soon they had 20 bowling balls. They called up a few friends and asked them to also grab some, and soon enough, that 20 bowling balls had become 60 bowling balls. They used the bowling balls to line their property, just having kind of some nice border going on. On the plain black balls, they would actually paint different designs and faces, whatever they felt like putting on there. And eventually they started taking the bowling balls to their art shows and asking other artists and friends to paint their own designs on them that could be added to the collection. Before long, they had a massive and very creative collection of bowling balls. These were all put into their property, and the place looked amazing. But the bowling balls deserved company, so they started adding other art fixtures. Some wire sculptures, some mosaics, just anything they had laying around that they wanted to create a new project with. Soon, the whole property had become an art wonderland. If you have a little time when you come visit, they have a nice section set up where you can just sit and take everything in. It certainly doesn't hurt that Florida has such a comfortable climate. Sitting in the shade, breathing in the fresh air, feeling the warm summer breeze across your face, there really are very few ways to spend a day as peacefully as here at Whimzeyland. Though the artists spend most of the year away at art shows, selling new sculptures, and other business things, they still take the time to make sure Whimzeyland has plenty of love and affection, adding new pieces all the time. They've made a commitment to share and grow art all around the world and in their community. They even helped open a local art center nearby, which even features some of their pieces. I think it'd be very hard for anybody to look at Whimzeyland and not feel at least a small spark of inspiration and creativity. No matter your age or what walk of life you may come from, this entire place is an absolute feast for the eyes, and you're certain to find something that makes you smile. Something else you may notice as you peruse the art is the wide variety of different materials that have gone into it. There is, of course, plenty of bowling balls around, but you'll also find plexiglass sculptures, different paintings on an assortment of canvases, bottle trees, recycled materials brought into new artistic expressions. Pretty much anything you can think of, they've turned into art. And sometimes that art is where you least expect it. It seems that they've covered almost every inch of this property with something new and creative. Even walking around to the different sides of the house is going to bring you new, big exhibits to check out. In the realms of found art and folk art expressionism, you'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere more impressive than this. In some ways, it reminded me of a few places we've been before, such as the Steampunk Garden in Kansas or even the Beer Can House in Houston, Texas. But they certainly had a flair that was completely their own and made this one of the most unique artistic houses I personally have ever seen. And if you happen to be visiting as the sun begins to set and the stars come out, the lights turn on and it turns Whimzeyland into a completely different place. So no matter the time, if you ever get a chance, this is well worth a visit.
You can even browse through a small store they have on location here, just in case you want to take some of the whimsy home with you.
And trust me, it's hard to pass up taking one of these little guys home. There's no admission fee to enter Whimzeyland. They gladly open it for anybody who wants to come and see the wonderful art pieces. But buying something in the store is an awesome way to help support them. Or there's also a donation box nearby where you can pop a couple dollars in just to show how much you loved the place. And as a matter of fact, Whimzeyland has started filling up so much that it's spilling out of just the yard. This was one of the most hilarious pieces they had. This was the Y2K bug. And he is a marvel of technology, as you can see. I'm not sure if you could get away with driving him down the street too far, but he certainly looks great right outside the house.
And Whimzeyland is not contained to just one property. Right across the street, there's even more magnificent art.
This nearby sculpture of a firefighting Dalmatian was probably one of my favorite pieces, and as a matter of fact, is still owned and created by the same people, as Todd and Kira Linda actually own several of the properties nearby, and even have one specifically left open for visiting artists who come by to have a place to stay, so all they have to worry about is their creativity and what new art they're going to push into the world next. How cool is that?
Ultimately, Whimzeyland is a fantastic reminder that creativity and art are all around you if you just take the time to look around. Well, that's all the time we have for today. My name is David, and this has been Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for tagging along. We'll see you next time.